I mean, how useful is anger 30 seconds later or 30 minutes later? How fearful do I want to be? How impatient do I want to be?
I hate the I hate the like self-help approach that people will use, because people start to get this idea that and I think it's unhealthy. People will get this idea that like almost as if like they're the center, where like world change starts with you. You know, that's something that like people will sell to people, or that the thing that we need to do to have a brighter tomorrow is if you take a different approach in thinking about the world, buy my self-help book, clean your room, etc. And it's something that it's so easy to sell people books, apps, ads by doing this. And it's not helpful for actually understanding what we're looking at. Like the conversations that people need to have are the conversations about things like advertising, commodity production, and the way that like we have been segmented due to that sort of a process. That's the kind of conversation that people need to be having for multiple different reasons, like not just socially and the way that we engage socially and how that gets mapped onto our political system for multiple different reasons, like not just socially and the way that we engage socially and how that gets mapped onto our political system, but also with things like climate change and stuff like that, and just the economy, the way that we approach the GDP, et cetera. Like that's where conversations need to start happening, is looking at people as as part of actual systems, and the ways that is moving people. But like once you start talking about like, oh, if we just focus on the way that we treat ourselves and the way that we treat our neighbors, it's leading people to a fucking dead end just to sell people like a book. Just so people can be like a tad bit more confident before they die. It doesn't solve any of these issues.
How angry do I want?
I was scammed by the self-help industry for years. It's difficult. It's like a lot of people are really precarious, sad. They don't know where they're going in this world. Like they don't know what the point is about it. And like you can have someone, especially like these Oedipal like father figure type people that can look you in the eyes and they can tell you that they, like it's going to be okay, son. But it starts by picking yourself up. And it's like everyone wants to hear something like that, and once they hear something like that, they're fucking bought in. They're immediately buying that next self-help book, that they're subscribing to the channel, and then they're getting a whole new range of different commodities advertised to them. And they've just been segmented into a different part of this structure that no one wants to talk about, or no one's, I guess, equipped to talk about.
All of our failures of compassion are failures of mutual understanding. Of, you know,
suckle on my teat, my child. Exactly, yeah.
There's just an inability to be kind and patient and curious about what's happening on the other side of the wall or the other side of a conversation. All of those strong negative emotional reactions like anger and fear, they're necessary as information. They're salience cues. They tell you that something has happened in the world or in your body that is worth paying attention to. I think it's important to recognize that your mind is all you have, really. You know, your mind is the basis of your experience in each moment.
I'm pretty sure I have a body as well. Thank you for the neuromania.
Right. And therefore it makes sense to train it. It makes sense to understand it. It makes sense to pay attention to it directly. With each new.
It does not start and stop with your mind. Okay, if you stop eating, if you start eating a shit diet, your mind is also gonna be shit too.
Appearance.
You are a fleshy biological machine. I'm sorry to tell you, you're a historical animal and a fleshy biological machine, and your mind is emergent of that. I'm sorry, it sucks.
Conscious.
It's a prison.
You are just condemned to be as angry as you will be for as long as you will be. And the reason why meditation becomes a great tool of emotional regulation is that it introduces a degree of freedom.